Hey there, it's Kathy Howes with Be Creative with Kathy, and in today's video I'm going to show you how we put together November Stamp Club packets. So let's jump in there and get started. Um, and then at the end of the video I'll explain what's going on with December and when we meet again and all of that stuff. But for now, let's just throw the cards together. So we're going to start with this card. Now, so you know, I cased this card from Terry Gaines. So Terry Gaines, if you happen to see my video, thank you so much for sharing. I love your card. Okay, so let's go ahead. So the black part of the packet to the top, this will be our next card. Let's set that aside. So the first thing you need to do, and I've already done it in advance so you don't have to watch me, is you need to punch out from these strips here. We need 8 windshields and 16 little tires. So using the punch, and you can take and put the strips in like this, and then that way you don't waste a lot of paper, and you can get a bunch of little windshields in like that. And then the tire the same way, only we're going to go from the side. I can't pick up my paper here. There we go. We're going to go from the side, and then you'll just punch out 16. You should have enough strips of paper there to get all of your tires and windshields. And like I said, you need 16 tires for 8 little trucks and 8 windshields for 8 little trucks. So I didn't punch the truck. Shame on me, and I should have. Let me get all this out of the way so I can scoop the paper out without anything in the way. So quickly here, I'll punch the 8 little trucks, and you should have plenty of cardstock. 2, and we need 2. This is Poppy Parade. That was Granny Apple Green, just in case you're wondering what colors I used. And then this one is Afternoon Azure. I think that's what it's called, these new colors. This is my, well, I say, this is my favorite new color, but then I look at Pecan Pie and I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's my new favorite. Anyway, so this is Daffodil Delight. So now we have 8 little trucks to go with our 8 little windshields and our 16 little tires. Let's grab my little trucks from here. And the one more is buried under all the bits and pieces. Okay, now we don't need any of this nonsense. We'll throw this all in the trash. So now we have all of our little pieces and parts to our truck. And now we need to glue all those together. But however, you need to be aware, excuse me, that some of the trucks are headed this way and some of the trucks are headed this way. So I would lay them out like this to make sure that you have your trucks laying the right way. And that way, when you take and glue the little tires and windshields on there, they're facing the right way. So I'll leave my trucks like this. Well, in fact, I've done all of that in advance for you. So I'm going to lay my trucks out in the order that they go. And that way you can take a screenshot, push pause, and make your trucks all the same as mine. If you want them the same as mine. If you want to rearrange your trucks, by all means, you do what works for you. It's your card. But this is how my trucks look like. Whoop, this guy's down. Nope, this guy's here. This guy's here. I like the way they look. Yeah, whew, I thought I had that one backwards. But that's there so you can do a screenshot and see. Now this little truck is an extra one, but look, I took the pieces and parts and put them on the inside. So this is what I want mine to look like that. Okay, then we're going to take this white piece that is embossed like this. And yeah, we talked about at Stamp Club what that's called, galvanized something diamond point. I don't know. I'm not very good at that stuff. But anyway, this piece here, we're going to lay our trucks on now where we want them to go. Like this. And then I'm going to take this truck here and make sure they all fit and they're all on there in the way that we want them. And then I'm going to take dimensionals really quick, and this might be a little bit tedious to watch, but bear with me. I'll try to make it quick. But I'm going to put dimensionals on all of those little trucks now and put them onto my card. Maybe I won't apply a lot of pressure in case I want to move them again, because I think this guy might be a little bit too close to the edge. As I laid him down, I thought, yikes, I need to move him already. So I am going to just take and move him over here a tad. There we go. I like where he looks now. But I haven't put any pressure on him, so he can just sit in case I need to move him again. I'm going to try to get them straight so they go straight across. There's a little bit of border at the top. And we'll put this one on next. Gently lay him down. Okay, then I'm going to put these on there, because where the bottom ones are depends on where I want to put, I think, the two on the side, but I don't know. I don't think you can do it wrong. I don't think anybody receiving your card is going to be like, oh, look, she laid her truck way down there. I wouldn't have done that. I think they're just going to be thankful and happy to have a really cute card. They talked about in club today how there's a nephew, a 5-year-old nephew with a birthday coming up. I think this card would be perfect for that. I also think that my son of, I think he's 35, would like a little truck card like this too. There, now this one, I'm going to layer a dimensional right here on my paper, and then I'll put one on the bed of the truck back here so that I know where those dimensionals go, and then lay my little truck, whoop, drop my little truck right there. And now I have the dimensional on the edge and not where I don't want it. And I'm going to do the same thing for this little yellow truck right here. I'm going to lay it over here, and then I'll put a yellow truck like on the cab, or I mean a dimensional on the cab of my yellow truck. Did I take that? No, I didn't take that one off yet. And then lay this right where I want it there. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and smush them down and get a nice, so they're nicely adhered to the front of my card. Then turn that over and trim that off. Now hang on to these pieces, because like I said, these are the little truck pieces that we're going to put on the inside of our card. So it'll look, no, it's going to look like this. I was like, that didn't look right. Now it looks right. So we have the front of our card. We can go ahead and put it onto our card base. It's scored for you at 4 1/4. Now, if you're not part of my club and you're interested in making the cards, all the measurements will be on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com, and you can go there to cut your own paper to make. And the supply list will be on there too. So a little bit of liquid glue on the back of that. And I'm going to lay that on the front of our card with a nice border all the way around. There we go. A little bit extra there, but I think it's going to be okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit of stamping. So on here, I'm going to kind of just lay my truck down here where I think it should go. I'm going to use black Memento ink, and I'm using the stamp set. And let me see if I have, yep, right here. I'm going to use this stamp set, Celebrate with Tags. I like this big, bold, happy birthday right there. So I'm going to use that stamp set to stamp my happy birthday on the inside. I'm going to try not to get my head in the camera, but we'll see what happens. I want to get it straight. Whoop, there, my head was in the camera. Darn it. Set that down, let that ink sink in. Hope my part was straight. Okay, not too bad. I'll take that. Then I'm going to just take my little truck here, and I'm going to glue him. There we go, to the center. Just like that under my happy birthday. Try to get it straight. And then glue these little pieces and parts. And I can use this straight edge here to line up along here. Oop, it needs to go a little higher. So they're all going in a straight line. Kind of looks like a traffic jam here in Denver, Colorado. And then we're going to do this one here. A little bit of liquid glue on the back of this one. Remember, a little bit goes a long way. And then line him up straight along with that edge there too. And now we have, I think he needs to go up a little higher. I think he might be happy right there. Oh, and then he lost his little tag, or his little window. There we go. Okay, then we'll go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. There we go. Like that there. Isn't that adorable? Such a cute card. Thank you, Terry, for sharing. Love this card. Okay, then for our tags here, these are from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I have the same die. Whoop, this is the back of the die, that's, or back of the cardstock, that's the front. I'm going to stamp using this Light Up the Sky. I like this little Let's Celebrate right there. Again, in the black Memento ink. And I should use my Stampin' Pierce mat, but I don't see it here, so I'm going to just go for it without it. Ink it up good. You can see through that photopolymer that it goes right. Try to get point to point on my tag here. Let's see how I did. I'm let that ink sink in for a while. I'm not applying a lot of pressure, but even pressure. And look how that ink sank in. I did pretty good. Okay, that's all the stamping. So on this tag, the white one, I'm going to just take my bone folder and kind of toward the end, swoop just a little bit and give it a little bit of curve there. And then on the inside, on the back, give it a little curve there. And then see how it has just kind of like that banner look. Not too much. I don't want a lot of curve. I'm going to take this and put a little bit of adhesive on the back in the center, tuck it under so it's in the bed of the red truck, and then tape it down toward the bottom of that blue truck. Then when I put a little bit of tape on the back of this, whoops, I need it on that bump right a little further here. Then I'm going to just do the same thing, tuck it in the back of the red truck, and then just tape it right there with a little bit of that bump and that banner. Not a lot, I don't know if you can see, but just a little bit. So there you go. There's our first card. Cute, right? Alrighty, let's go on to the second card. I have my packet here. Look, now this is the third card. This is the card that I made for you. And it's a very simple, but yet I think really cute card. Just layers of white with a little bit of stamping, a little bit of bling. Look, I didn't even stamp on the inside. Okay, that's for you to do. Okay, let's go to this card. So let's do all of our stamping first. So I'm going to take my white. This is just a scrap. This piece of white here, the third piece of white, is just the inside. I didn't stamp anything on there. You'll have to decide what you want to stamp on there when we need our blue tag here. And so, you know, this is the Happy Labels punch. It's not a die. I just took that strip of paper and inserted into the punch on both ends, and that's how I got it to look like that. With black Memento ink, just like we've done several times before, I'm going to ink up my truck here and stamp him down. Let that ink sink in good. Nope, and it didn't get it inked up good. I didn't like that. I'm going to do it again. Make sure apply a little bit more pressure in the center of my stamp. Let that ink sink in good. There we go. All I need was a little bit of pressure on the inside. Now, since this stamp is so little, I'm not going to apply hardly any pressure. Let me practice once on this side, make sure. Yeah, he'll look good. Do the same thing, ink it up good here. Apply very little pressure because it's such a small stamp. And there you go. Now we have our little Farm Fresh in there too. Okay, while I have my black out, I'm going to stamp the words. And these are the words of the stamp set. And they're upside down. Let me turn around so they're not upside down. I'm going to stamp them right there in the center on that banner. Hopefully it's straight. I tried not to get my head in the camera, but I don't think I did very good again. But now we have our little words. Let's go ahead and finish our truck. I'm going to put some balmy blue, or use balmy blue to fill the truck in. with that solid stamp here. Ink him up good. And I like to line it up using the back window of the truck and the curve above the hubcaps, or above the fenders, I guess those are called. And that's how I line it up, kind of hover a little bit until I get it where I want it. Set it down. Now it probably looks, because my poor little stamp set is so stained, he is totally used and loved, but look how cute that little blue truck is. Okay, we're done with the balmy blue. Let's go ahead and use our punch and punch out that truck. Oops, I gotta color his tires, I almost forgot. Let me punch him out since we're already there. Yeah. There he is. Nicely done. Let's go ahead. I have my Pebble Path Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to just use the bullet tip to color in those tires. Now there is a stamp set, but you know, it's easier just to color it. Sometimes there's a time to use the stamp, and sometimes there's a time to just color it like this. It's small and easy. And now that Stampin' Up! Has the new bullet tip on their Stampin' Right markers, I actually like to color. Alrighty, there we go. So we have our truck, we have our tag. Let's go to our little circle here. Again, using that black Memento ink, and I need to find a scrap of cardstock or paper here. I'm going to use this here because I want to stamp off. I don't want my black to be quite so black. I want it to be more gray. So I'm going to stamp off once here, and then where the circle is the same width as my little road, I guess I'm going to call it, that's where I'm going to stamp it. So see how it just barely fit in there? That's a perfect way to figure where you need your line or your road. Excuse me. So using some old olive ink, I'm going to kind of set my truck here, and then I'm going to bring in those two tree stamps, and I'm going to do the outline first in full strength and kind of guess about where I want my truck is there. So I'm going to figure my tree will be about right there. And trust me, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just someplace close. Now this filler in, I'm going to stamp it off once. It depends how inky, I guess you'll call it, or how happy, I usually say, your ink pad is to see if you want to stamp that off first or how dark you want it. You can always practice on a piece of scratch paper like I do. Alrighty, we have that all stamped and ready to go. So now I'm going to bring in the rest of the pieces of my cardstock here. Let's go ahead and take that circle. This is a stylish shaped die, has that stitching, and this 2 3/8 inch circle punch, or the hole from the circle punch, will fit nicely right on there, and you'll still see that stitching. A little bit of glue on the back so I can slide it into place, and it looks like that. Cute, right? I'm going to just take a couple dimensionals. Wait, I don't want to make sure I don't lose my sequence here on my truck here. I might have to find, well, I'll just put some, I'll cut my dimensionals. I'm almost out of dimensionals on this sheet. So my little truck here, popped him up on dimensionals and set him right on my circle where I think it looks pretty good, just like that. There you go. Cute little truck. Okay, we have all of our pieces and parts. Let's go ahead and put our card together. We're going to take this piece here. Whoops, it goes like this. Now this piece, there's two score lines on this score line here, and I like to have the bump of the score line on the inside. I'm going to fold that over, making sure that the top and the bottom line up nicely too. Use my bone folder. Now this score line over here, I'm going to fold in first on that bump on the inside, making sure my bottom and my top line up, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to fold it this way too. We need this piece here to be pretty pliable so it lays flat when we have our card laying down. And you'll see what I'm talking about when we finish it. Okay, then our designer series paper. This part with the trees, I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back. Where'd my adhesive go? Here it is. And this layers right on this fold, or this seam right here, the front part of our card. Fits perfect right there. And then on this stripe piece, I'm going to put adhesive on the back And then on this piece, I like to put so that the colored part is toward the outside. And I don't know why. That's just my preference. So that's how I'm going to lay them down, just like that. Then this white piece is the inside. I'm going to take this one and lay it on the inside right next to this designer series paper, but inside those two score lines. Try to line it up so the designer series paper and the white, go straight across. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this piece so when it's time, it's ready to go to put inside. Whoop. There we go. Just a couple should do. I'm going to send there. So I want to put my circle on there first before I put my tag. And my circle is only going to fit or adhere to the outside to this piece here. It kind of opens and closes like this. So I'm going to hold it where I want it, paying attention to where my circle is. If you see, my circle here is right next to that, oh, it's a pretty peacock. There we go. I couldn't remember what color it was, but you can see that my circle. So I'm going to remember that when I go to put my circle back onto my card. I'm going to open it like this, and I'm going to hold it with my fingers, see, like this, so I know to just put the glue on the outside edge here. And that way I won't glue my card shut. So a little bit of glue out here, outside of my thumb. And then when I go to put it back on my card, I'm going to remember that it lined up with that pretty peacock stripe right here. And now you'll see it's not glued to my card, but it's glued to that piece out here. And I like to use a nice strong adhesive because people will be tugging on that part. You want that to be healed or adhered down really well. There we go. We'll take our little dimensional backs off our tag here, and we're going to place this, now that we know placement, where we want it, right there. Get that straight. And then last, and certainly not least, whoop, there we go. We're going to take our little sequins here that are also in that pretty peacock and just splatter them along your card where you like. I'm going to put one here and one here, and then this one. And he went flying. Oh, I found he's on the ground. Hold on, he totally went flying. Let's see if he was on the carpet down there. Oh, look, there he goes. I found him. He's still good. Alrighty, so that's that card. This is a little bit crooked. Let's see if I can lift that up. Yeah, and make that straight. That's better. Now is it too low? I'll fix it. I'll check it out later. Anyway, so then it opens like this. Isn't that cute? This is a Susan Campbell card that I kind of cased the design, not necessarily the pattern. But there's our cards for this month. Now I talked about that next month, December, we don't meet at all. We take December off. Oh, wait, one thing I forgot that almost. Now on my card here, I'm going to take just a little bit of Winka Stella. Almost forgot the most important part. And I'm going to put a little bit of shimmer right here on the tree. And then I can't resist. I'm going to put a little bit of shimmer on the window. And don't forget this little tiny window back here. There. Now you probably can't see it on the camera, but Winka Stella, you got to love it with that little bit of shimmer. Now you can't. Well, maybe you can see it a little bit in the... It adds a lot, I think. Okay, so back to December. We don't meet in December. We won't place an order for club. We won't have a meeting. We'll meet back in January. Your mini catalog and celebration catalog should arrive in your mailbox mid-December. So if you don't get it, be sure and let me know. But as you browse through the catalog, be sure and keep in mind that we'll need to discuss a new bundle for January and February. So the end of December after Christmas, I'll send you an email, see what your thoughts are, if you have any suggestions as to which bundle we can use for January and February. So as sad as it is to say, we have to say goodbye because now we're all done using the Trucking Along bundle. And I wished I had all the cards here to show you. I don't. We had a really good time and made a lot of cool cards with the Trucking Along. Alrighty, there you are. So happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2024. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.